It's been 2 weeks off for the High Point University Panthers, but we're back here at the Greensboro Ice House for High Point University hockey. It's the Panthers and the Tar Heels in a rematch of what was a very exciting contest just 2 weeks ago. One that saw the Panthers come out victorious 8-7. We'll get more on that in a moment, but for now I'm Graham Tuck with J Banzet beside me for what should be a really great start to this weekend of hockey here in Greensboro.
I couldn't agree more, Graham. Last time, as you mentioned, last time these two teams played, they came out with an 8-7 final. If we get anything close to that, it's going to be a great start to what should be a really good weekend of Panther hockey.
And the interesting part about that game is that UNC led 5-1 in the first. After High Point scored the first goal to take a 1-0 lead, UNC jumped out, and then High Point came roaring back, taking a 7-5 lead before UNC came back, tied it at 7, and then High Point ultimately scoring the 8th and final goal in regulation, no less, courtesy of Hunter Arsenault.
Yeah, Graham, it's a game of runs. As you mentioned, Carolina went out 5-1. That's about as good a start as you can ask for if you're a Tar Heel fan, but then High Point came, fired right back, ended up going up 7-5 before winning the game 8-7.
And that is one of the bookmarks on this High Point University hockey season, no matter how the rest of the stretch goes. But the game the next day was no worse, a 4-4 tie against Wake Forest, and it was a great game. It went into overtime, obviously, with it ending up as a tie. But the great note about that one was Michael Ohlweiler, the freshman in the crease, and he had 62 saves, which by all accounts that I've been able to find is a school record. He saved 62 of 66 to help in the game in a 4-4 tie and keep the Panthers at 500.
Yeah, he was just in his zone that night. 62 of 66, that's an incredible percentage, especially for a college club goalie. That's incredible. So if he can play, if he gets any kind of performance near that tonight, the Panthers should be pretty successful.
And here's a note about the Panthers so far this season. They're undefeated in in games in which they score more than 2 goals. They are 2-0 in games in which they net 3 or more goals in the contest. And so scoring on Will Douthit is going to be a key for High Point. And Douthit, who's coming back from injury, and he looked really good when we saw him at the Junior Elite Prospects Showcase in Hillsborough about 3 weeks ago. And he's really going to be the key for Carolina tonight, you've got to imagine.
Yeah, he's a senior from Chicago, so he's an experienced guy. Obviously played hockey before he got to Carolina. And if he comes back, he's going to have a much better time between the pipes than the Tar Heels goalie did the last time these two teams played. He's going to be critical to their defense, just like Ohlweiler is for the High Point Panthers.
And critical to the defense is Ohlweiler. Critical to the offense is freshman Sean Kelly.
Correct. Graham, you mentioned he's off to a tremendous start. He's part of, I'm trying to find the stat where I had for him. He's got, I believe it's 7 points in 5 games. 4 goals, 3 assists, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that is an insane number for anybody, let alone a freshman.
Yes. He's a fresh guy on the block, his first month of school, and he's already doing tremendous things for this High Point Panther hockey team. So look for him to keep up the hot start and look for Ohlweiler to be tremendous in the net, and should be a great game overall.
And one of the other keys for High Point in their beaten streak that they're riding right now, following the win against Carolina and the tie against Wake Forest, is that their special teams have really been clicking after they got off to a terrible start in the year. They've started to put things together, and they're looking more like a complete unit out there right now.
Yeah, Graham, you mentioned the special teams. Power play, they started the year 0 for 6. They did not score on the power play for their first 6 opportunities, but since then they're 4 of 12. That's a 33% percentage clip. That's pretty good. And then on the penalty kill, on the other side of the special teams, they started 0 for 5, but are since 12 of 13. So they're stopping teams from scoring on their power play, and the Panthers themselves are scoring at a much higher clip when they've got a man advantage.
So we're going to take a quick break as warm-ups are just finishing up here at the Greensboro Ice House. The teams will head to the locker rooms. We'll cut the ice, and when we come back, we've got a special edition of the National Anthem, courtesy of Tim Shallcross, on guitar here at the Greensboro Ice House. Fresh sheet of ice is down here in the Greensboro Ice House, and we are just about ready to go for the first period of action between the Panthers of High Point and the Tar Heels of North Carolina. I'm Graham Tuck with J Banzet beside me, and it should be a pretty exciting contest. Two teams that played each other very tight last time around just 2 weeks ago, and the Tar Heels have revenge on their minds. And for High Point, they're playing not just to prove that the last game wasn't a fluke, but also High Point is looking to get above 500 for the first time in nearly 2 calendar years with a win tonight.
That's right, Graham. You mentioned High Point. They play in the Club Division III division. Carolina plays in Division II. There's obviously... Yes, we're going to get to our actual national anthem, which is being played by an electric guitarist from High Point University.
Yep, it's going to be Tim Shallcross who will step out onto the ice. And the national anthem presented by Tim Shallcross. That was a pretty nice touch, and we've got, for the first time, a live national anthem performance. And if you're watching at home and you want to perform the national anthem at a High Point University hockey game here in the Greensboro Ice House, reach out to team president Alex Bozek, and we'll be in touch. And they are announcing the starting lineups for the different team, the Tar Heels and the Panthers. And for High Point, it'll be Rob Cazzola, Tyler Calkins, and Hunter Arsenault, the forward line. Andrew Prune and Sean Egan, the starting defense pairing, and Michael Olweiler between the pipes. For the Tar Heels, we already mentioned in the crease, it'll be Will Douthit, the senior from Chicago. Ian Reeves and Daniel Jones, the starting defensemen. John Beeson, Brian Hogan, and Henry Foster, the 3 forwards out there to start the game for the Tar Heels. Tar Heels come in at 4-2, Panthers at 2-2-1. And this is a big rubber match early on in the season for High Point. Again, looking to prove that that last win against Carolina wasn't a fluke.
Yeah, you got that right, Graham. This is all about motivation. It's 10:45 on a Friday. They have nothing else they'd rather be doing right now than being on this ice playing against each other.
And the Tar Heels control the opening face-off. We're underway here. Beeson slaps it into the attacking zone. Prune tips it on. Goal. That was a dangerous play from the freshman defenseman, but it ramps off a stick and out of play. With 19:46 left, we'll have a face-off in the Panthers' defensive end.
Yeah, Graham, that was really risky. That went right in front of a High Point goal, and the Carolina certainly could have gotten a stick on it for a goal, but they didn't.
And that was reminiscent of the way that the Panthers started the opening game of the season against Lewis. There was a defensive zone turnover in the first, I want to say 2-3 minutes of the game by Jack Olson. And it ended up with a breakaway chance. And from there it was just smooth sailing for the Lewis Flyers. Came away with the win, but Cazzola starting a 2-on-1 for the Panthers, but Arsenault a little bit too eager into the offensive zone, and he's offsides.
Yeah, Arsenault just got there a little too quickly, probably about 2, maybe 1.5, 2 steps ahead of where the puck was. That's offsides on High Point.
So there in the face-off circle, you'll see Sean Kelly, number 41 in white. We touched on him in the pregame. He leads the Panthers in points in this young season so far. In 5 games, he's got 4 goals and 3 assists. He'll turn it over, and the Tar Heels are into the attacking end. Stepping up with it is Walsh. And his pass to the point, looking for Gleason, but it couldn't find the tape. Douthit in his crease, he'll leave it. And the Tar Heels look to break out. Simon Malone turns it over, and a good stick from Dakota Johnson keeps it in the zone for the Panthers. Drop pass for Kelly. Rims it around the end boards, and the Tar Heels will possess. Kelly turns it over. Henry has it at the goal line. Pass for Kelly, and it can't find the stick.
Yeah, Graham, you're noticing early Carolina cannot clear their defensive zone, except, well, they will right now, but earlier they have not been able to.
And now it's Mahan in on a one-on-one, a shot, and a good shoulder save from Ohlweiler. First time he's been tested early on.
Yeah, that went right off of Ohlweiler's right shoulder.
Walsh with the slapper from the point of deflection, it's in. Couldn't tell if that went off of the skate or stick of Misha Sabotin or a Panther.
I think it went off a stick, Graham, if I'm not mistaken.
Whether it was Sabotin or a High Point Panther that deflected it into the net of Ohlweiler is irrelevant. It's a 1-0 lead for the Tar Heels with 18:21 left to go in the first frame. Macheska wins the draw for High Point, and Kondraki near side boards. He'll leave it for Pageant. And we're going to have a hand pass called and a neutral zone draw coming.
Yeah, you've seen early face-offs are 2-1 Carolina. We'll see if High Point can get this one here in the neutral zone. Or, excuse me, in their defensive zone being moved down there.
Being down early, we touched on it 2 weeks ago in the game against Wake Forest. Being down early is something that High Point is not a stranger to, and that's not necessarily a good thing, but they are 0-1 in the one game that they've scored first. That was against East Texas Baptist. Or I apologize. 1-1, I should say, after they scored first against UNC.
Yeah, last time these two teams played, High Point scored first, and Carolina went out on a 5-0 run to take a 5-1 lead. So we'll see what High Point can do to counter here.
In the offensive zone, it's Reese. Point-to-point pass, looking for Karen, and he'll just slap it to the low block behind the cage of Ohlweiler. Working with it is Friedman. He'll leave it for Ives, back to Friedman. A good stick from Macheska will depossess, but still the Tar Heels possessing at the circles, now behind the cage. A good pass, backhanded shot is broken up by McDonald. It's Friedman, behind the net. Looks to the high circles, but his man wasn't there. That was Kendrick Holmes. Not there to catch the pass, and moving the other way with it is Fleury now. He's got a 2-on-2 if he wants it with Pageant, but Fleury will just get into the zone safely. Tries the cycle pass for Pageant, but it was a little bit too hard for him. Sexton in with a scrum along with Sean Egan. Tar Heels possess and looking for Graham Karen. Clearing the zone is Ben Reese. And now at the red line, dumping it in is Sam Ives. Nick Fallon fighting for it for the Panthers. Schneider attempted to clear the zone. Now Egan has it. A stretch pass for Schneider is deflected to the skate of Reeves.
Yeah, Graham, you'd like to see High Point have a little more sustained possession here.
Now they've got a chance here. It's Sexton at the top of the circles. A shot goes wide. Douthit didn't even get a blocker to it. Fallon was looking for the pinch, but it's instead brought the other way by the Tar Heels. It's Ashford. Drop pass, backhand pass, and just on the back door, unable to clean up the scraps, was Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that was about as pretty passing as we've seen tonight, Graham. That was a great look for Carolina, but they just couldn't convert.
That was a great one-touch pass on the backhand. Looking for an easy tap-in opportunity, but unable to make the play, and that's going to be a tripping call. Will Schneider, the guilty party for High Point. Douthit will head to the bench. It's a 6-man opportunity for the Tar Heels. As they move in on sides, and High Point will touch up. We'll have a call. Schneider to the box for tripping. 15:40 left to go in the first period, and the Panther penalty kill will hit the ice for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Graham, we talked about it in the pregame. The Panther penalty kill is 12 of its last 13, meaning they have killed 12 of the opponent's last 13 power plays. So hopefully they'll be able to keep that hot streak up again.
And that's not against shabby power plays either. That's against the likes of North Carolina and Wake Forest. And we know what Wake Forest can do. They have one of the best goal scorers in the ACCHL, and Andrew Gebhardt. Let's see what they can do here. High circles, a good stick that time from Calkins. Will block the shot off the stick of Sabotin. To the point. For Foster, off the inboards, it's still loose, and a good clearance attempt by the captain, Sean Egan, will clear the zone for now. Tar Heels in on sides. It's Foster. Point, and now the other way. Calkins with a chance, he'll dance, and Arsenault chips it into the zone. He'll move in shorthanded. Doesn't have numbers, just killing time. 1:22 left to go in the penalty kill. 1 goal advantage for North Carolina. Walsh, backhanded pass for Kramer, but McDonald clearing the zone.
Yeah, this is a really nice job by the Panther penalty kill. They're chunking it to their offensive zone and making Carolina reset with just over a minute to go in the penalty.
That's a great play for McDonald, able to keep the puck in the attacking zone. Kill off just a little bit more of that penalty, and now it's over halfway gone. 14.5 to go in the first. Across the blue line is Malone moving in, unable to get a shot off. Slap shot, high circles, it goes high, very high over the crossbar into the netting and out of play. Didn't even hit glass on that one.
Yeah, that shot was very powerful, just not very accurate for the Tar Heels, and they'll get a face-off in their offensive zone.
And at that point, you're just looking to stun whoever you put in front of the crease right there. 14:21 left to go in the first, 41 seconds left on the power play for the Tar Heels. The penalty kill for High Point looks good yet again. Jones turned it over at the blue line, and now back to collect it is Gleason, his D-man pair. Gleason, backhanded pass, drops it for Jones. And now the Tar Heels will break into the zone. A touch from Friedman. Turned it over, Kuntz behind the cage. Looking for Sean Kelly, who can't get it out of the zone, but now it'll be Fallon who does the job. 10 seconds left on the power play for Carolina. And it certainly looks like this High Point Panther penalty kill is about to move to 13 for its last 14.
I think you're right, and they just did. Here comes the Panthers now.
Schneider out of the box. It'll be Johnson who takes his place on the ice. Oh my, the Panthers are lucky. They've got 6 men on the ice right now. They've got to make sure they don't get caught.
Graham, you're exactly right. And yes, now 3 of them want to get off at the same time.
And they noticed it, and they're lucky that the officials didn't. Kuntz in the defensive end. Fallon with a chip at the red line. Didn't quite have it, though. And that one won't be icing, as winning the race for the Tar Heels is Mangle. And Ohlweiler will reach out to cover with 13:04 to play.
Yeah, Graham, that was fresh off the penalty kill. They got a little error in the substitution box, but other than that, High Point really killed off the penalty really well, and now they're going to get another face-off in their defensive zone, try and get an offensive possession out of this.
Haven't seen a lot of sustained pressure in the offensive end so far for the Panthers, but when they get it, it's a group that is dangerous, and they can strike at will. They showed that in the second period as well as the third against the Tar Heels 2 weeks ago. But if you're Coach Don Starcher, you don't want to wait until the second set of 20 minutes before you get that pressure.
Absolutely right. You want to apply it as soon as you can, especially because Carolina, you've seen in the beginning of the game, Carolina's had more sustained offensive possessions than High Point has, but we'll see if the Panthers can get one now.
And that'll be icing as the Panthers dump it in. So it'll move all the way back to the left of Ohlweiler with 12:40 to go in the period. There you get a look at Ryan Macheska. And Macheska had a pretty big goal against Carolina the last time they played. It's the lone goal on the season for him so far. Fleury back from injury after a couple of games off. He scored 2 in the opener. Pageant, a big hit in front of the High Point bench. And that'll still be an icing call, though, all the way down to the attacking end. And this is very reminiscent of what we saw at the end of the game against Wake Forest 2 weeks ago. In the third period and overtime, High Point just couldn't get the puck in the attacking end to save their lives. And that's part of why Ohlweiler had to save 62 shots just to preserve a tie, not even a win.
That's exactly right, Graham. Once they cross the blue line to get in their offensive zone, they either get one shot and done and it doesn't make the goal, or they turn it over.
But the good news is for High Point that the defense has done much better in the early stages of this one than it did in that game against Wake Forest. And you can tell by the shots on goal counter, 8 minutes in and only 2 shots for either side so far. The only difference is one has found the net. There's another one, a good stick save from Ohlweiler. Now up to the point, it's Gleason. Looking for a slap pass, nobody home. To the slot, still loose, another shot. Kramer, what a save from Ohlweiler.
That right there might be his save of the year. That he had his legs split out wide, he lost his balance and fell and made the save with the glove.
And that is perfect fundamentals right there. You get low, keep the puck at eye level. What a glove save. That's one of the best that I've seen, period. Not even from High Point, from Ohlweiler ever.
Hey, Graham, that was pretty incredible. We're going to have to go watch that one after this game and see just how incredible that was. But he slid from his right to his left, stuck out the glove, and made the relatively just incredible save.
It's good to see Ohlweiler settling into his crease, because in the first couple of games that he played, he started the first game against Lewis as well as the third game of the year for High Point against East Texas Baptist. And in both of those games, he did not look good, to say the least, but he has really come into his own. He's started to look poised, especially for a freshman. He looks confident, much more than he did in the first couple of games, and he is a big reason why the Panthers have the record that they do, as that shot off the stick of Sabotin hit off iron, and now the Panthers clear the zone courtesy of Henry Grill. Nicholas Fallon with 11 minutes to go in the period. Sabotin moving around a man. Fallon passes it to himself off the boards. What a nifty move. And Grill, a stretch pass for Kennedy. He had a one-on-one opportunity along the wing, but he couldn't capitalize. And now moving in with it is Walsh. On his backhand, a shot goes wide of the cage. Sabotin, far side circle. Drop pass for Daniel Jones. Now Reeves, slapper, goes wide. Ohlweiler might have gotten a bit of the blocker to it. Puck clears the zone.
Yeah, Graham, you've seen it. Carolina's had sustained offensive possessions, but High Point is countered with patient defense.
A pad save from Ohlweiler. Gets away from him a little bit, but nobody there to cover up the scraps. He'll reach out and cover it up himself. 10:25 to go in the period. UNC is still holding a 1-0 lead, courtesy of an early goal. Looked like it got deflected in front of the net. Couldn't tell who it was from. We're going to credit it to Misha Sabotin for now. Panthers win the draw. Cazzola near side circles. Stretch pass for Arsenault. Tried to move around Reese, but couldn't. And Arsenault has been another dangerous freshman on the offensive side of the game for High Point in this young season. Arsenault had 2 goals in the first game against Carolina.
Yeah, Arsenault's got to be able to lead this Panther attack. As you mentioned, he had 2 goals last time these two teams played. He needs to kind of take charge, or somebody does, in a white uniform, to be able to get some shots on net.
Cazzola looking for the wraparound pass, couldn't find anybody, and now it's Calkins. Behind the net for Arsenault. Up to the point, it's Prune. Lift pass, the deflection was there from Arsenault, but he couldn't get the right angle on it. Calkins behind the net for Cazzola to the slot, and it takes off a pad of Douthit. And now Reese near side boards, cross ice pass, and now a 2-on-1 brewing for Carolina. Coons joining the play, and a good stick from CK will break that play up. In the slot, still loose. A shot from Friedman, swallowed up by Ohlweiler, and a cover.
Yeah, that's another beautiful save, moving from right to left for Ohlweiler. As you mentioned, Carolina keeps getting opportunities right in front of the net that Ohlweiler just keeps shutting the door on. So Ohlweiler's playing a heck of a game, but the High Point defense has also got to pick it up a little bit and not allow so many shots right in front of the goal.
Shots on goal, 6-0 in favor of Carolina in the early going here. Just over halfway through the first period. It's a 1-0 lead for the Tar Heels. That was Ashford looking for a centering pass from behind the cage. Instead, it's Henry who comes away with the puck from that scrum. Ohlweiler gloves down the loose puck. He'll melt it. Just under 9 to play in the first.
Yeah, Ohlweiler is being very, very active in this first period, which you want to see as a goalie. But you also, as a goalie, you don't want to have to be so active. You want your offense to be able to possess a little bit. You want your defense to be able to turn it over a little bit more. So look for Ohlweiler to keep playing his game, but hopefully the Panthers can certainly move the puck into their own offensive zone a little bit more than they have so far in this first period.
Ashford, far side corner. Pageant has it on his stick, and Macheska collected the pass without even realizing. Macheska taking a hit along the boards. Good to see him shake that one off. He was really nursing a sore shoulder that he injured in the Carolina game 2 weeks ago. Now, breaking up that clearance attempt is Fleury, and we're going to have another penalty against High Point. Macheska will touch up. We'll see who it's on. It's interference assessed to Tim Fleury.
Yeah, you can see plays getting a little bit more chippy, Graham. It's college kids. They're playing hockey late at 10:45. They're really getting into it. They've already played each other this year. High Point, the underdog, won the first game, so Carolina's got a little bit of anger coming back. They want to make sure it doesn't happen again. And it's really the second guy who always gets caught, and that time it was Macheska. Fleury.
Carolina power play 0 for 1 on the night thus far, but an opportunity to improve upon it here. Face off, won by the Panthers, but turned over promptly. Foster at the point, big hit that time put on, and now on the far side circles, a shot off the stick of Hogan goes wide. Foster at the high slot, took a deflection in front, Ohlweiler lost it, but it goes wide of his cage. Arsenault with a good play to try to clear the zone, but a better keep from Foster. That time won't be able to, and High Point clears the zone. Half a minute gone.
Yeah, this Panther penalty kill again has been asked to take on this Carolina power play, and they're doing a pretty good job so far.
Pass off the boards to no one in particular from Foster, who possesses in the high slot. Dangling a shot. What a save from Ohlweiler. Didn't have much of an opportunity at all. Ohlweiler would give Walsh a shove, a shot through, pad save, and a cover from Ohlweiler.
Yeah, Ohlweiler has been making saves moving from his right to his left earlier in this game, and that one, the really nice one off his right blocker, came from moving from his left to his right. So he's really displaying his versatility between the pipes, but Carolina just keeps peppering him, and he keeps standing up to the challenge every time.
Shots on goal, 10-1 in favor of the Tar Heels. Face-off won by those Tar Heels. Power play halfway gone. Jones in front of the High Point bench. Dances in towards the middle of the circles. Kelly puts a hit onto him. Cross-ice pass for Friedman. He loses it. And the Tar Heels will have to touch up as it leaks back into the neutral zone. Kelly clears it off of the lazy pass from Gleason. Douthit will get it behind his cage for Gleason. Now moving with it is Noah Friedman. Still Friedman. Near circles. Stops. Dangles. What a move to get McDonald. Now a pass back to the high slot. It's Jones with Gleason at the point. Pad save from Ohlweiler off of that shot attempt from Jones. He just basically moved in uncontested, had a wide open look, but couldn't do anything with it. And that'll do it for the second power play of the night for the Tar Heels, officially 0 for 2.
You mentioned Daniel Jones, just basically took a Sunday stroll right to the middle of the ice, and once again, Ohlweiler was there for the challenge, but you'd look to see a little bit more of a contest from the High Point penalty kill.
He basically just lulled the defense to sleep. Everybody thought he was going to pass it at some point. He just never did.
It's like in basketball with a 2-on-1 and somebody's about to go up for a layup. They go up uncontested because the defender thinks he's going to pass it. He just got a wide open shot there. Jones did.
Tar Heels clear the zone after a little bit of offensive pressure from the Panthers, and now moving with the puck is Mangle. Mangle, pad save from Ohlweiler, still loose, and in the slot, the Panthers finally clear. 12-1 is now the shot tally in favor of the Tar Heels. Near side corner. Centering pass looking for Kendrick Holmes, but nobody home. no pun intended. And now another centering attempt from Saboten. We picked up at the point by Karen, and moving the other way with it is Logan Kennedy.
He's got a 1-on-4 right now. He's going to run in.
And Kennedy stripped up. That one won't go unnoticed. And it'll be Graham Karen heading to the box for Carolina. So we've seen the penalty kill excel so far tonight for the Panthers. Let's see if the power play can do the same.
Exactly. He kind of ran into some trouble down in that far corner. He was 1-on-4, and the Tar Heels bailed him out with the trip. And as you mentioned, the Panther power play has been clicking at a much higher rate than they did in the beginning of the season. They're at 33% right now, which is extremely good. So hopefully they'll be able to get one here.
6 for 32 on the year in total, but 4 for their last 12. Face-off won by the Panthers. Johnson able to keep it in at the point. Henry, pass to the circles for Kelly. He dances. Kelly at the circle, still centering pass, is broken up by Hogan. High slot, Fallon loses it in his skates. Fallon still somehow in remote possession of it. And finally clearing the zone is Hogan. Half a minute gone in the power play.
Yeah, Graham, look for the Panthers here to move the puck a little bit faster than they did the last time down. It's kind of more just standing around and passing for each other. They've got to move to create some openings and get some better shots on goal.
Henry takes a big shot into the Carolina bench. And in the circles, Johnson in a scrum, Kelly joins. Kelly coming away with it. Centering pass for Fallon, and a pad save from Douthit. Only the second time he's been tested tonight. And it comes with a minute left in the power play, 4 to go in the period. Henry, far side boards.
You see the puck staying on the far side of the rink there for the Panthers. They've got to be able to move it up towards the blue line and then back towards the near side of the rink to be able to move this Carolina defense. Basically, one Tar Heels guarding 2 Panthers, and when you have a man advantage, you want to eliminate all those kind of situations. You want to be able to take advantage of playing 5-on-4 hockey and be able to get a shot on goal.
And a stretch pass attempt from Egan, picked up by Cazzola, but he's beaten to the puck. And a breakup that time by Walsh, Leighton Walsh, and then he'll turn it over, and Arsenault turns it right back. Nobody wants the puck right now, and Carolina coming away with it. Spoke too soon. Arsenault repossesses. Cazzola at the blue line brings it on sides. Power play has officially expired for High Point, 0 for 1 on the night so far. McDonald to the skate of Fleury, turned over to Gleason. Fleury takes it right back, and he'll get it into the offensive end. Under 3 to play in the period. High Point registering only 2 shots on goal in the first period so far. Arsenault off the boards. Into the neutral zone, Gleason slaps it right into the body of McDonald. Fleury. Turns it over, and the Panthers will have to start to break out behind their own cage.
Yeah, Graham, the big story of this first period is High Point's inability to sustain an offensive possession minus the penalty, the power play they just had. They need to clear their defensive zone and get the ball up to where they can get more shots on goal than 2.
Reese keeps it on sides. Centering pass to Friedman resulted in a good shot opportunity, but can't even get a shot on goal. 2 minutes to go. Blocker save Oldweiler, and he'll cover up.
Oldweiler is just playing out of his mind. He's given up 1 goal, taken on more than 10 shots in a period. That he took on 66 the last game, so we're certainly not at that clip yet. But certainly he's taken. And if you're Coach Dom, he's taking on too many shots.
You're right, but the defense has improved. They are doing much better in front of him than they did 2 weeks ago. And now the Panthers had a chance. Henry's pass for Johnson just was a bit off the mark, tipped in, so no icing. And Oldweiler, the 1 goal that he did allow wasn't really even his fault. It got deflected in front. He couldn't keep track of it. It's not one that you really fault any goaltender for.
Of course. When these shots are coming in fast as they are, and it's a small little black puck, it's very hard to see. And when it gets deflected, you have your eye on it. When it gets deflected, you really have no idea where it's going off that deflection. So you can't really – it's counted as goal against Oldweiler, but it's really not his fault, as you said.
80 ticks left in the first period. And the Tar Heels looking for one last chance. Reese at the circle, stick save Ohlweiler up into the netting. And we'll have a stoppage. 1:13 left to go now.
Yeah, finishing this first period is going to be extremely critical for High Point. If they can keep this deficit at 1 or maybe even potentially tie the game up, that's going to be huge going into the second third of this game.
And the big thing, other than the goaltending and defense so far for High Point, has been the penalty kill, which has done a very good job both times it's been out onto the ice. And if the penalty kill unit for High Point can keep this up the rest of the season, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
That's exactly right. Ohlweiler, he's taken a lot of shots, but most of them have actually not come on the power play, which I know he's got to be very thankful for.
Pageant, depossessed of the puck. It'll be Walsh with under a minute left to play. At the point, Reeves. Centering pass looking for Walsh, but it's off a stick. Reeves at the point, slap pass, far circles, a shot off the blocker of Ohlweiler behind the cage for Walsh. 40 to go. Near side boards. Sabotin, a pass across the slot looking for Mahan, but he couldn't clean it up. Under 30 to play. Off the glass, then the official onto the tape of Sabotin. 20 seconds left. Egan. For Daniel Jones. Centering pass, what a save. Ohlweiler once, twice, 3 times, he keeps it out.
He's playing out of his mind right now. I know you mentioned he played well against Wake Forest, but he was on his stomach, spread out wide, and he made a glove save on the ice with 7 seconds to go. Took 2 or 3 shots from Carolina Tar Heels right in front of the goal and didn't fold.
And this is exactly why you can see that Starcher trusts this kid with quarterbacking his team, really, between the pipes. He's just a freshman, but number one, he's got a giant frame. He's 6'5", so he fills up a lot of that cage. And that one just deflected off of his glove. But with 3 to play, the Tar Heels and Panthers content to just let the clock run out. And that'll be how the first period ends. Ohlweiler lets up a deflected goal early in the period on one of the first 2 shots of the game for Carolina to fall behind 1-0. But a stellar penalty kill and a phenomenal first period from Ohlweiler kept that the score the rest of the way. And we'll go to the break. 1-0 Carolina is the score.
You cannot understate how well Ohlweiler just played in front of a defense that, as you mentioned, has been playing better tonight. They're still not playing fantastic hockey, but they're playing much better than they did against Wake Forest. And certainly if you're a High Point Panther fan, to see this score only 1-0 with how Carolina's dominated possession, you've certainly got to be very happy with how your defense has played so far.
Especially when you consider that this team trailed 5-1 at the end of the first at the last time these two teams played. To be only trailing by 1 going into the second frame, it could be much worse. We'll take a quick break for the second intermission. We'll get a fresh seat of ice and then come back for the second period of play. Panthers down 1-0 to the Tar Heels at the end of 20 minutes. We are back here for the second period of action in the Greensboro Ice House. It's the Panthers trailing 1-0 to the University of North Carolina's Tar Heels. In that first period, Tar Heels registered 17 shots compared to just 1 for the Panthers. And we'll see if switching ends can do anything to remedy that for High Point. Tar Heels possess off the opening face-off. And they'll be Fallon, who attempts to clear the zone for High Point but can't, behind the net. It was Foster to the slot, and it ramps up off of a sticking out of play into the netting, and we'll have a draw.
Yeah, Graham, you mentioned the 16 shots on goal for Carolina compared to 1 for High Point. High Point's scored 8 goals against the Tar Heels the last time these two teams played, so you certainly expect them to pick up their offensive production as this game continues on.
And we were not there for that game against Carolina 2 weeks ago in the Orange County Sportsplex. But it was a great one, and there you see Hunter Arsenault. He scored 2 of the goals, including the game winner in that game against Carolina. See if he can break something open here. It's the top line out there now for the Panthers. And the Tar Heels win the draw. It's Malone. Breaking it up is Fallon, and he's tripped up, and the Panther power play is going to get its second chance of the night.
Panther special teams so far have performed pretty well. They're 2-0, they have not allowed a goal on either of Carolina's power plays themselves, but High Point is 0 for 1 on their own power play. So let's see if they can make their nightly percentage 50% and get a goal here. A quick penalty too, just 45 seconds into the second period.
And it'll give High Point a chance to have sustained pressure on the offensive end for the first time in this period. It's Jack Gleason who went to the box for the trip. Panthers possess. Henry near circles. Tried to drop pass it for Kelly, but he couldn't. McDonald kept it into the point. Good pass to Johnson. High slot, Fallon, and he's stripped of it. A good stick check that time by Foster. And they'll clear the zone. McDonald back to chase.
Yeah, you mentioned the poke by Foster. The Panthers had a great opportunity right in the middle of the ice, but Foster got a stick up under the Panther trying to shoot, and the Tar Heels forced a turnover.
Johnson, high slot, and a great pass break up from Foster yet again. And he's moving in on sides for the Tar Heels. Pass to the slot, was trying to find Hogan, but it's just out of his reach. It's Tim Fleury moving in. On sides, no off. Didn't look like there was anything suspect about that play, but with 1:01 left in the power play and 18-17 in the period, we'll have a neutral zone draw.
Yeah, Graham, you mentioned High Point with their power play has been able to get a little sustained offensive possession. You've seen some nice passes, especially from the top blue line down towards the backboard or the baseboard of the ice, but Carolina just right there chunks it out of their defensive zone, and High Point has to regroup again.
Jones at the defensive blue line will sling it back to Calkins. Sean Egan.
Yeah, I'm not sure anybody saw it. Calkins just caught that right out of the air with his left hand. That was pretty smooth. Did not let it get back towards his goal.
Chipped up into the High Point bench at the red line, and we'll have a neutral zone draw. High Point still yet to record a shot on goal on the power play tonight, which is obviously not how you want things to go when you're a man up.
That's exactly right. They've been executing at a 33% clip in their last 12, or I guess 13 times now, and they haven't even gotten a shot on goal here. So look for them to regroup here, advance into the offensive zone, and get one on net for the first time this power play.
Here's Cazzola on sides. Coming away with it is Calkins, but he's stripped of it. And moving the other way is Carolina. Jones fumbled it at the blue line. And now a 3-on-2 for the Panthers. Pass for Fleury, a shot off the post, and that still won't count as a shot on goal as the power play expires.
He did everything except put it about 2 inches to the left. It went off the far pipe and bounced out. So if that shot went about 2 or 3 inches closer in, that's a goal.
Easily the best opportunity yet for the Panthers, and Douthat's down and out. Nobody able to clean up the scraps behind the cage. Schneider was there along with Arsenault and Kennedy. But danger cleared for the Tar Heels for the moment at least. It's icing. So it'll go back to Douthat's left. But that is the first time that we've seen a dangerous scoring chance for the Panthers, and still they're unable to get a shot on Douthat.
That's really just unlucky. Whenever you hit the pipe, you're in a game, you never aim for the pipe. You aim small, miss small, especially you aim the top corner, and he just got unlucky, went a little too far to the right. Douthat had no idea where it was going at all. He didn't even move, and it just hit the pipe, and then you see Douthat fall behind his goal later, so I wonder where his head is right now. He didn't see the first shot, kind of falling over his feet a little bit.
He did look like he got a little tripped up, but you're right, Douthat for the first time looking less than perfect. And it's not like he's been really tested either.
Yeah, exactly. He's had a pretty easy exam so far this game. Certainly, let's hope that Panthers can ratchet up the difficulty and put some attack on here for their offense.
Moving in with it is Vaglia, and now Schneider all alone. He couldn't catch it, tried to move around a man. He left Gleason out to dry, but he couldn't quite possess it. Kennedy fighting for it all by himself behind Douthat's cage, and now the Tar Heels moving with it. Across the blue line, now the red, it's Friedman. Into the zone, harassed by Kuntz. He was looking for Reese in the slot, but it was just behind him a little bit. Friedman tried to find Reese again. Broken up, Sexton chasing. Broken up by Henry, and now he's got an opportunity the other way. Ryan Henry moves around 1-2, and it's poked out by a defensive stick for the Tar Heels.
Henry had a 1-on-3 there. Not really advantageous for High Point, but he did get a good look right in front of the goal. Went by one Tar Heel, almost got by a second before the puck got taken away from him.
Kuntz bodying off Sam Ives, and now Kuntz with a stretch pass to Johnson, who couldn't quite stay on sides. Looked like a clean play to me, but the linesman on the opposite end of the ice says no go, and we'll move back to the neutral zone.
Yeah, that was about as close as it gets. The official was right on the blue line. He got a good look at it, but just really 50-50 call right there, and it didn't go the Panthers' way that time.
Shot still 17-1 in favor of Carolina. Walsh and Kelly in for the draw. Kelly has been hot this season. He's been quiet tonight. See if that changes here. It's Henry for Johnson on sides. Shot from Johnson, and it's only the second shot on goal for the night for the Panthers, but quickly the Tar Heels the other way. It's a breakaway. Moving in on Ohlweiler, and a backhanded shot is blocked down by the freshman netminder.
He just continues this play from the first period, Graham. He slides from his right to his left, gets a split save on his left blocker on a breakaway from the Tar Heels. He's really keeping High Point in the game right now.
He is the sole reason this game is not at least 4-0 Carolina.
Correct. He's continued, as you mentioned, 62 of 66 shots against Wake Forest he saved. He's going to have a pretty similar percentage in this game if this rate keeps up. Still giving up only one goal through 25 minutes of play.
And that's an easy one. A one-timer from the high slot off the face-off, courtesy of Kendrick Holmes. And as quickly as that possession began for the Tar Heels, it ends. We'll have another offensive zone draw for the Carolina Blue. They'll win it again. It's Kendrick Holmes. That time the shot won't get on goal. To the slot, it's broken up. A good stick from Fallon. A pad save from Ohlweiler, still loose along the circles. Moving with it is Foster. Nothing ado for the Tar Heels, and Egan will put it off the boards for Arsenault. And I'll tell you what, the Panthers look like they haven't played in 2 weeks. They just aren't. Their passing isn't super crisp right now, but they're getting away with it because their defense is playing like they've been playing for 2 weeks straight.
Yes, they're turning the puck over as another tremendous save by Ola from the one-timer at the blue line. But the Panthers will turn it over, force a turnover, get to about the red line, the blue line, their own defensive zone, and turn it back over. They cannot convert these forced turnovers into sustained offensive possessions.
And against teams like Carolina, against teams like Virginia Tech, who the Panthers have on the docket for tomorrow, against teams like the Demon Deacons, defense is what's going to keep you in those contests. When you get into conference play against teams like Christopher Newport next weekend, teams like ECU, Northern Virginia Community College, the offense is going to be what wins you those games. When you have the defense that can keep up with these D2 teams, M2, it's going to go a long way against the teams that are at your same level. And High Point still yet to play against an M3 team as Oldweiler swallows up another one with 13:44 left.
You cannot lose a game if you don't give up a goal.
Oh, absolutely.
Then that hammers home the point about defense is so important at this level because goals are going to come. Somebody's going to score at some point. You've seen the Panthers score 5 goals against Denison, 8 goals against Carolina, 4 goals against Wake Forest in that tie. They can score. Their defense has got to be able to give their offense chances. And
High Point has put some good defense in front of Oldweiler, who has officially saved 84 of his last 89 shots faced. That's ridiculous at any level of hockey.
That is unheard of. I mean, that is, let's do some quick math. 84 of 89.
That's a good 3-game stretch for any goaltender, yes, let alone 4.5 periods.
Yes. I'm still putting it in perspective. He took 66 shots against Wake Forest.
Now, given that included a 5-minute overtime period.
Yes, but still.
Wake Forest outshot High Point 22-4 in the third and final period of that game. High Point wins the defensive zone draw. It's Logan Kennedy. Stretch pass for Grill, and it gets tipped back into the neutral zone by the linesman Kwong. Breaks up a potential chance for the Panthers.
Just an unlucky break there. Officials, they're on the ice. They do a great job, but sometimes the puck just goes off of them, and that was the case right there.
Dangle from the Tar Heel attacker. It looked like Reese, who put a pretty move on a man. Now it's Reese who comes away with it. High slot. Slapper from the point. Pad save Oldweiler. Johnson tries to get into the neutral zone but can't. It's kept in at the blue line by Malone. High slot Malone. A shot goes wide. Can't even find the blocker of Oldweiler.
Yeah, Carolina's gotten some decent-looking shots. They just haven't been able to put them on net on this possession.
Gleason for Malone, looking for a tip in front. Can't find it. And that one leaks into the neutral zone. It's a 2-on-2 for High Point. Grill trying to get around a man, can't. He had Johnson with him in the neutral zone. McDonald will just chip it in. Johnson gets off for a change. Sean Kelly forechecking. Ryan Henry with him. And he'll give chase as Friedman dumps it along the boards. Tommy Kondraki fans on the attempt to drop a pass in his own defensive end. And now it's Ryan Henry with it. Henry, another man who's had a pretty good start to the season scoring-wise. Left it for Tim Fleury. Now Sean Kelly. The lines have gotten changed up a little bit here. Kelly looking for Henry, who was darting towards the slot, but it's broken up in the crease.
Yeah,
Fallon.
That was High Point's first real sustained offensive look, and
and even then, it was only about 20 seconds.
That's exactly right. You've seen when Carolina has the puck in their offensive zone, they're able to pass around the perimeter and then get open shots. High Point was just relying on the one-through pass to get from the far side of the rink to the near side, and it didn't get through.
And that one, the clearance attempt from the Tar Heels deflects off one of the rafters here.
You heard that clank. Pretty good. He got that one way up in there. Actually did hit the ceiling.
We saw a play like that in Hillsborough at the beginning of last month where it deflected off of the roofing. But that time it hit metal, not insulation. Yeah. And so the thing is, because that clearance attempt came from the defensive end, it'll act as an icing, and it's an offensive zone draw for the Panthers. See if they can make anything of it. Tar Heels will win it, though. So a wasted opportunity for the Panthers. Moving in, it's Foster. Still Foster to the slot, and it's broken up by Egan. Arsenault clears it out, but no more. Kendrick Holmes. Chipped in at the blue line by Foster. Actually, no, it's icing. They say he didn't get a stick to it. 10:44 left to go in the second.
It's the same continuous story from the first period, Graham. Ohlweiler's playing out of his mind. They're forcing difficult shots from the Tar Heels, but the Carolina is still getting shots off. And at High Point, when they do turn it over, when they do have opportunities, they either don't last very long or they turn it over pretty much before they get to the red line.
And this would be a big loss for the Panthers. Logan Kennedy just headed back to the locker room for High Point. We'll see if he's okay. Give you an update when we can. Sean Kelly possesses in the neutral zone for the white, black, and purple. Foster tries to dance around Ryan Henry. Should have known better. He'll come away with it. Fallon, pass broken up. And Kendrick Holmes will possess at the defensive blue line for the Tar Heels. He'll drop it for Ives. Hogan puts a hit on a man, and now in the defensive end, it'll be Fallon. Halfway done here in this contest, 10 minutes left in the second frame. Dumped all the way down on goal by the Panthers. And Karen look to break out. It's Walsh at the blue line, bodied off by Prune. Foster, shot on off the shoulder of Ohlweiler, saw the jersey flutter a little bit, but otherwise that one would have missed the cage entirely.
Yeah, his 6'5" frame got in the way of that one. You're right, I think it would have sailed over the crossbar, but fortunate enough for High Point, they keep deflecting these shots. That shot right there went wide of the net, and now the High Point Panthers can control and hopefully get an offensive possession.
Cazzola all by himself looks to do it. Across the blue line, still alone is Cazzola. Tries to dance around one man, can't draw the penalty, and now the Tar Heels will move the other way.
You'd like to see Cazzola be a little bit more patient there. He had a 1-on-3, not really advantageous. Maybe just wait for his teammates to come join him in the offensive zone.
And now a chance for High Point as Arsenault moving in. He lost the puck, though. Calkins breaks up a pass. Forechecking hard of the Panthers. This is one of their strengths, and we haven't seen it a whole lot tonight. See if they get back to it. Kuntz putting on pressure in the corner. Cazzola stops. Stretch pass for Arsenault, and now he's got a chance. He's got to hustle, though. Douthit out of his crease, and Arsenault unable to win the race. Prine. In the neutral zone, Walsh. Stretch pass. Reese, shot, save, and it's cleared.
Yeah, that one hit Ohlweiler right in the middle of the chest. That was about as easy a save as you can get. When you're shooting, you want to shoot away from the goal. You want to make him move, and that one right there, he just took it right in the chest, didn't really have to do anything.
And icing is called with 8:06 in the frame. Ohlweiler officially up to 25 shots now that he's saved. 25 of 26 for number 32 in white so far. Just over 8 to play in the second period. High Point still trailing by only 1 after Carolina scored with under 3 minutes gone in the first period. Both teams 0 for 2 on the power play. McDonald for Padgett. He can't get it though, and now McDonald will try to clear the zone yet again. He'll get it back from Friedman. And now Malone. Broken up by McDonald. Sean McDonald. A shot, pad save. Still loose in the slot. Macheska couldn't clean it up. Sorry, that was Fleury. That was a massive rebound off of the pad from Will Douthit. And it could have been a legitimate scoring opportunity for the Panthers. Now the Tar Heels have a chance the other way. And it's broken up. Only the third save on the night so far for Will Douthit. Panthers are forechecking aggressively. 3 in the attacking zone. Padgett a pass to the slot. Macheska couldn't get a tip to it.
Yeah, for those who are unaware, the forecheck is basically the full court press that you would see in basketball on a hockey rink. It's to create pressure, potentially force turnovers right in front of the goal, and give yourself a better shot on net. A big hit there right in the near side of the rink. That was Aiden Padian. huge hit.
And that could potentially be a momentum shifter. Arm is up for icing, and we're going to have a stoppage. Pageant just absolutely laying the wood on that last hit and got the bench fired up.
Yeah, Graham, big hits are momentum changers in basically every sport, especially hockey. You're trying to, when you're the underdog team like High Point is, when you're down 1-0, you need something to give you that spark, especially when you can't sustain offensive possessions. Something to give you a little bit of momentum, as you were talking about, and Pageant hopefully just did that right in front of us here on the near side of the rink.
And we're going to have a stoppage for a moment. Not exactly sure what for. Logan Kennedy is back on the bench for the Panthers. That's a good sign. The penalty box door is open for High Point side. And it's going to be Dakota Johnson stepping in. Aiden Pageant's getting a 5-minute major. Wow. Never saw the arm go up. But the Panthers are going to be shorthanded for a while. And that power play that has been unsuccessful for the Tar Heels in the last 2 times they've played the Panthers is going to have to come through here. Pageant has made his way back to the locker room.
Yeah, that's never a good sign. When a guy is getting a 5-minute major penalty, Carolina, who is 0 for 2 on the power play so far, they're going to get 5 minutes of another opportunity, and they're already up 1-0. That basically, his hit was a momentum changer, but the penalty that comes after it basically kills all of the juice that he just gave his team.
Didn't exactly see the call, but have to imagine that it was contact to the head. And so a long, continuous power play begins for the Tar Heels. The Panthers will dump it once. Walsh in on sides. This could be trouble. Pass across for Sabotin, and it went wide. Couldn't tell if Ohlweiler covered or if that one just went out of play, but nonetheless, we've got a stoppage.
Yeah, that one went out of the back net. That was the best look Carolina's had in this period. They had a pass go from their right side of the ice across Ohlweiler's face, and he was sliding from his left to his right, and Carolina just couldn't put the shot on net.
Shots on goal, 26-3 in favor of the Tar Heels. Foster for Malone. Off a stick and wide of the crease of Ohlweiler. Half a minute gone in the power play. Malone to the slot for Hogan, loose in front. Possession still being fought for, and Sabotin unable to put it on goal. It leaks out to the corner.
Yeah, you can see the screen that's Carolina setting is right in front of Ohlweiler. That one got deflected, went right over the net.
Was reminiscent of the only goal that the Panthers have conceded so far tonight, a deflection right in front. And it just didn't have the angle that Walsh wanted it to. It goes up and out of play.
That's exactly right. High Point, they are a man down here for 4 more minutes and 9 seconds. They've got to get that screen out of the way. That's basically, as you mentioned, the first goal that Carolina scored came off a deflection right in front of the goal. They almost just got a second one there. So High Point, they've got to maybe sacrifice the pass all the way across the far side of the rink and come shut off or move the screen out of the way so Ohlweiler can see the shot a little bit better.
And Coach Starcher is incensed over something. I'm not really sure what. But we're back to action here. 4 minutes to go in the power play now for Carolina. 20% done. And a pretty uneventful one at that. Logan Kennedy will clear the zone for the Panthers. It's Daniel Jones setting things up for Carolina. Jones, touch pass for Mahan. Dances around Kennedy. Mahan in on sides. Loses it. Arsenault fighting for it, and he'll clear. And Arsenault takes a hit, and this is going to be a penalty against Carolina. So we'll play 4-on-4 for a moment at least. And this is going to be a charging call. We'll see who goes to the box for the Tar Heels.
You saw Arsenault earn that one. He forced the turnover, cleared it out of the zone, and then took the penalty. That's an excellent play from the freshman right there.
It's going to be John Beeson, the senior from Chapel Hill, going to the box. 2 minutes for charging. But that won't quite kill the power play yet. It'll just give it a breather give the penalty killers for High Point a breather, that is. 2 minutes of 5-on-4, and then about 3 minutes and 20 seconds, 1 minute and 20 seconds of power play time left for the Tar Heels. Hogan in on sides. Wraps around the cage. Has options. High slot. Looking for a deflection in front was Gleason, but he couldn't find one. Moving the other way is McDonald. He's got a 2-on-1. McDonald for Kelly.
Pass.
And he just lost it. Couldn't settle the rolling puck on his tape. McDonald tried to find Cazzola, but the pass was behind him, and Egan back to get it for High Point. 1:19 left in the 4-on-4. Egan turns it over, moving the other way is Foster. A shot, he scores. Man, you don't see that every day from Sean Egan. That was a very uncharacteristic turnover from him.
Yeah, that was about the worst mistake possible. He turned it over right in front of the net. As you mentioned, Foster put it right under the bar. Ohlweiler didn't really have a chance there. It's 2-0 Tar Heels.
And we'll still play 4-on-4 for the next minute and 12 seconds. 4:24 left to go in the period. 2 goals on the board against Ohlweiler, neither of them his fault. But the offense in front of him hasn't been able to help him out much. And that's going to be another tripping call, and Schneider is down. That did not look good. That looked like knee-to-knee contact. And Coach Starcher's out onto the ice.
Yeah, you saw that knee-to-knee right there. He went immediately down. He's going to be, I think he's going to be able to make it off under his own power, but he's certainly dealing with a lot of pain.
That's great to see. Schneider was a late addition to the roster for tonight. Walsh walked himself to the penalty box. That's when you know.
Yes.
That's when you know that it's bad.
That's exactly right. So we'll play.
It looks like we're going to be 4-on-3.
It's a 5-minute major, too.
Yep, it's 5 minutes assessed to Walsh, and this could be a turning point.
Absolutely. They're going to play 4-on-3 hockey. So the sustained offensive possession problem that High Point's had all night should be erased right here. They've got more space for players to move. They got more space to make passes to each other, and they're going to be man up here for another minute before they're going to be up. I'm getting all confused.
So this is a lot to sort out. So we've got, first and foremost, there's a minute left until Beeson is released from the box. At that point, we'll play 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 26 seconds. Then we will play 2 minutes and 35 seconds of major 5-on-4 power play for the Panthers. Right now, it's a major 4-on-3. Henry for Calkins, shots blocked, and it leaks back into the neutral zone, and now a breakaway chance for the Tar Heels. It's Mahan moving in, backhand shot, and where is that one? How did Ohlweiler save that?
Oh my goodness. I think his left blocker caught that one, because that was a pretty good move by the Tar Heel right there, right in front of the goal. Ohlweiler had to block it with his left blocker. It actually got under his pad, in between his leg and his pad, and just sat there. Nobody knew where it was until he picked up his pad. And so he
every
found
day it's another thing with this kid.
He's a stud.
That's quite simply the only way to put it at this point.
And he gets this program gets 3.5 more years out of him, and that's going to be really good to see.
Face off, won by the Tar Heels. Content to just bring it back into the neutral zone and reset. 30 seconds left in the 4-on-3 before Beeson is released. Henry has it in the neutral zone, and he'll bring it in on sides. Arsenault with him. 20 seconds left in the power play until 4-on-4 time. Henry, cross ice, drops it back for Henry. Calkins with a great pass. Henry wasn't ready, though. Fallon looking for a deflection from Arsenault, can't find it. Arsenault dances but loses it, and now we'll play 4-on-4.
That's a timely substitution right there. Carolina almost got a offensive chance for Beeson, but the Panthers will control it, certainly here in the neutral zone. Oh, boy.
It's turned over in the defensive end yet again by High Point. It's Foster behind the cage. He'll throw it off the side. Puck still loose behind the goal line. A minute left in the 4-on-4 before 2.5 minutes of major power play for the Panthers. Aiden Pageant has been assessed a game misconduct for a hit to the head. And Carolina will ice it.
So the penalty update here, we're going to play 4-on-4 for 45 more seconds, and then that'll leave about 2 minutes and 45 seconds for the Panthers to play 5-on-4 man up on the power play.
Cazzola set to take the draw for the Panthers. He'll win it. Kennedy puts a shot off the side of the cage. He gets tripped up, no call. 3-on-2 for the Tar Heels. It's Foster, moves around McDonald. Drop pass, save Ohlweiler, still loose, and clearing it is Cazzola for the time being. Another save from Ohlweiler, and the rebound isn't in a spot where anyone can do anything with it.
This guy is playing out of his mind.
Cazzola leading a 3-on-2. Cazzola still with it, and the shot is blocked off the stick of Foster. That was one of the better chances that High Point has had in this period, but it goes out of play. We'll have an offensive zone draw for the Panthers. 10 seconds left in the 4-on-4, and then 2 minutes and 34 seconds of major power play time.
If you're High Point, there's 1:57 left in this second period. They need to be able to capitalize. They're going to have a power play here in about 8 seconds. Need to capitalize, get at least one on the net, hopefully two, but at least one going into the third period. Give yourself a little confidence going into the final frame.
Johnson is out of the box. He'll move off to the bench where Arsenault replaces him. It is power play time for the Panthers. Penalty kill still doing a relatively good job. Egan tried a no-look pass to Arsenault, but he wasn't ready for it. Egan can't block it down, and McDonald hauled down. A good forecheck from the Tar Heels here. Reese in the corner. Coming away with it is Henry. Now Egan. A minute left in the period. Egan on sides. Top of the circles, now bottom. Stretch pass, good stick that time from Douthit to stop the chance before it even happened. And with 52.8, we'll have a stoppage, an offensive zone draw, and a line change for both sides.
We're starting to see a little bit of more offensive momentum here from High Point. You expect it on the power play, but even when they were playing 4-on-4 for the minute and a half or whatever they were playing for, you could see a little bit more juice on the offensive end. You see a little bit more puck movement, a little bit stronger defense. The forecheck is really starting to show up here for High Point. They're going to need to bring that into the third period once we finish here in the second.
Well, the power play has been absolutely abysmal for the Panthers over the last 2 seasons, really. It was very, very unproductive in the tournament last year at the end of the season. Johnson dances around a man. And the power play hasn't gotten off to the best start this year either. Got to try to change that at some point. Kelly.
See, the confusing thing, they had it rolling against Carolina the first game in Wake. They were 4 of 12, and then they started off the season really poorly, and tonight they played not their best power play either. So hopefully another
slapper from Friedman. Sorry to interrupt you, but a great chance.
Certainly deserved. That's just Ohlweiler is just playing out of his mind. Friedman again taking another shot. They keep peppering Ohlweiler in the goal. That one went off his left shoulder. We just cannot understate the play of Ohlweiler tonight.
It is truly a sight to see at this point. 31-3 is the shot counter, and Dakota Johnson's going to go to the box, so that'll officially do away with the power play. What he's in for, I'm not sure. It's going to be a hooking against Dakota Johnson is the call. Didn't quite see it, but with 18.3 left to go in the period, it's 4-on-4 again. Shot from the point off the stick of Foster goes wide. It's Cazzola. 5 to go in the period. Cross-ice pass goes wide, and that'll do it. Shots on goal. 31 for the Tar Heels, 3 for the Panthers through 40 minutes of play. A lot more ink on the penalty sheet in this last period. And another goal in favor of the Tar Heels. And it puts the Panthers at a 2-0 deficit at the end of 40 minutes. One more period to try to get on the board, but Jay, it's not looking too good for the Panthers if they can't get a couple more shots on goal, to say the least.
That's exactly right, Graham. They scored 8 goals the last time these two teams played. 8 goals. They have 3 shots on net, period, in this game. That's not going to get it done, especially when Owen is playing well. He's playing tremendous in the goal, a true freshman, but he can only do so much.
And that he can. And it's just rough to see. He's doing everything he can out there. Neither of the goals he's allowed have really been his fault.
No.
The defense has been good, but at times it's just broken down, and it's cost the Panthers. So they'll make some adjustments, come back out for the final set of 20 minutes. 2-0 Tar Heels, the score here from the Greensboro Ice House. We'll be back with the third period of play after a quick break. Back here for the third period in the Greensboro Ice House. It has not been a strong 40 minutes tonight so far for the Panthers, but there's still time. And the Panthers score. Brought the audio back in just in time, figured everything out. It's Fleury netting the proximate goal for the Panthers.
It's a huge, huge opportunity right there, and they took advantage. They made Douthit slide to his right, took it back to his left where his blocker was not, and put it past him to make the score 2-1 with 16:48 to go.
Well, it only took about 45 minutes, just a little bit less. But the Panthers are on the board. 6 shots into the game. They are being outshot 36-6. And man, oh man, if the Panthers can net another one, Michael Ohlweiler, the legend, will just continue to grow. And that
was
hurts.
pretty. That was beautiful passing.
Behind the net, a behind-the-back no-look pass found Foster right where he needed to be, and he'll clean up the one-timer to make it, again, a 2-goal lead for the Tar Heels.
22 seconds after High Point scored.
3-1 is the score. Foster with an absolute beauty of a goal.
That Foster's, I guarantee he's played a while. That may have been the easiest goal he's had in a couple years.
Definitely. Ohlweiler just got caught looking the other way, had no idea what side of him the puck was on. And it ended up costing him.
An unfortunate break for Ohlweiler there.
And the puck's lost in some equipment in the neutral zone. And that's the perfect personification of what the night has been so far for the Panthers. You finally break through, and then as soon as you do, Carolina comes right back.
Exactly. As soon as High Point has done something right and they've gained just a little bit of momentum, whether it be their own penalty or a Carolina goal or a Carolina forced turnover, the High Point just hasn't been able to maintain any sort of momentum in this game.
4 minutes gone in the third period. 3-1 the score. And if this one holds, the statistic that we mentioned in the pregame show would hold true. High Point is undefeated in games in which they net 3 or more goals, and they have not won a game in which they've scored 2 or less. Carolina ices the puck with 15:38 to go in the regulation period.
It looks like
both teams are going to have a platoon swap here.
Is there a Panther in the penalty box?
There is. It's Ryan Henry. For what I'm not sure.
I think he got a high stick. I believe that's what it was. The official held his hand.
I believe you're right. Yep,
head.
that would be a high sticking call to Ryan Henry. And Starcher wants an explanation. Doesn't look like he's going to get one. Ryan Henry netting his 7th and 8th penalty minutes of the year. And the Panther penalty kill back out there again.
Oh, boy.
Moving around him, and it's Foster. What a snipe that one was. The degree of difficulty on that one makes up for the easy goal that he got just a couple of moments ago. Foster's got his second in about 2 minutes, and it's 4-1 Tar Heels.
Yeah, second. The first one, as we talked about, was very easy. That one, he split 2 defenders, went from the near side of the rink to the far side, his left to his right, got the puck on his tape, shot it far left corner, right over Ohlweiler's right shoulder for the goal.
And those are the first 2 times that Ohlweiler has been beaten in about 3 minutes of contest. 3 periods of contest, I should say, if you date back to 2 weeks ago against Wake Forest. Face-off won by the Tar Heels. And they're off sides with 15-15 left to go in the period. Largest lead of the night for Carolina is what it stands at right now, 4-1.
Yeah, Graham, that's one thing that we cannot underestimate here. Carolina has really dominated the face-off circle. And it's a small advantage, but certainly getting that many more possessions, especially in their offensive zone, is really going to give them, as we see on the scoreboard, a better chance to be successful.
Cazzola dances around a man once, twice, and he'll try to dangle around another. He takes a shoulder to the head. That's going to be a penalty. Delayed call coming. Carolina will touch up. It's going to be an elbowing call. And it's going against Jack Gleason with 14:55. So after a relatively clean first period of play, the last period and a half has been the exact opposite for both sides.
I think the total number of minutes we played 5-on-5 hockey is under 10 in the 25 that we have played so far.
Oh, and I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that one bit. And I also think that the amount of 5-on-5 that we've played since about the 5-minute mark of the second period has not changed.
No.
Very much, if at all. In the neutral zone, Arsenault bodies off a man. That's Vaglia. Cazzola with a touch in the neutral zone, but moving the other way with it is Friedman. Friedman puts one towards the slot, and Ohlweiler gloves it down momentarily. It'll leak back out of his control. Egan and Reese will put that one up into the netting. With 14-18 left, we will have a stoppage.
There's a minute 22 left in this penalty for the Panthers to try and take advantage of, and they just...
I'll tell you what, I honestly forgot that they were on the power play because it just looks like, it doesn't look like they're playing with a man advantage right now at all.
No, they have no offensive rhythm whatsoever. They're getting tremendous goalie play, but they're still letting them get peppered with shots, and then they're having moments like this where they're just going to ice the puck and bring it back down here.
Yeah, how do you ice the puck on the power play is the question.
It looked like they were trying to get a pass up here near the red line, but there's just no Panther within the general vicinity of the pass. It's just questionable decision right there.
And good stretch passes can be a great thing for your team, but when you're behind 4-1 in a game in which you only have 6 shots on goal,
in which your opponent has scored twice in the last 2.5 minutes of game
right,
play.
You've got to just break into the zone and then set up. Exactly. We haven't seen a High Point set up in the umbrella once this entire game, and that's not really a good sign, especially when you've been on the power play as much as this team has.
Carolina's certainly given High Point chances to take advantage of power play opportunities being man up, but they just simply haven't been able to control the puck for that long. Exhibited right there. They get it right in front of they get it past the neutral zone into their offensive end, and 5 seconds later gets sent back down into their defensive zone.
And the bench for High Point has no energy right now. This is a team that may or may not have come into this contest with a sense of entitlement after playing very well 2 weekends ago against the likes of the Tar Heels and the Demon Deacons, 2 very solid M2 teams. And they've proven that they can hang with anybody at this level of hockey, but you've got to do better than just hang with teams. And now a chance, a backhanded shot is a blocker save from Ohlweiler. 35 seconds left to go in the power play as Walsh will let the puck leak back into the neutral zone. Now defensive end for the Tar Heels. And the way that the schedule is set up for the Panthers.
Oh, you got a shot. You got an opportunity now if you want to.
And now it's Fallon moving into the zone. He's got a man with him. It was Kelly that he was looking for, and Henry ends up picking it up. Johnson fakes the shot, sends a man sprawling, and a good block that time in front of the net from Reeves. Able to prevent that scoring chance from materializing. Now Johnson again. Back for Henry. The power play's over. Deflection in front. Can't find the back of the net. McDonald. Fans on it. Now Johnson back in the neutral zone. He'll look to set things up for High Point. And that'll be icing as he did not have the red line. Not a very smart play that time from number 2 in white.
No, you mentioned exactly right. We finally did see High Point set up in an offensive possession. They were on the power play, set up in the umbrella like you were talking about. You got a couple of decent looks on goal. You saw one shot go off of Reeves' right shin guard. So they're getting shots now, but it's just a matter of finding 3 goals in the last 12.5 minutes of the game.
And now a scrum in front of the net. It'll clear the trouble harmlessly. McDonald gloves the pass from Henry down. He'll move in on sides. He's hauled down. And we're going to have a touch from the Tar Heels and a penalty call. And it looks like it's going to be Graham Karen heading to the box again. And it's going to be a hooking call against Karen, so the Panther power play will get another opportunity. But as I was saying a moment ago, the schedule is very beneficial the way that it's laid out for High Point because they start their season without playing a team in their own M3 conference for the first 7 games of their season.
You mentioned, and they're all playing teams higher ranked or higher division than they are. Carolina, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest. Lewis beat them 8-2. That's a really good team. So the more you can play better teams and get yourself to find where your faults are earlier in the season, once you hit conference play, you're going to know what those faults are. You can better defend them and attack more of what you know your strengths are.
Egan behind his own net, set to break out the power play. Cazzola across the blue line with speed, moving in the corner. Back for Calkins, cross ice pass, point to point for Egan. Deflection, it goes wide off the stick of Arsenault. That was a good chance from the freshman. Egan for Calkins, behind the back pass for Cazzola, was a bit off the mark. Cazzola.
There's still a minute 10 left. Oh, hello.
What a absolute shot put on by both Egan and Fleury. Sent Foster sprawling to the ice. And now a bit of a scrum in the near corner. Dance from Arsenault and a big hit from Foster. Got to be careful here. The arm is up. And now the Panthers have a 6-on-5 opportunity. Calkins behind the back pass gets broken up. Panthers have 7 men on the ice. They've got to be careful. Johnson goes back to the box, and now we're going to have a penalty call. The officials noticed.
They noticed because the Carolina bench pointed out. As you talked about in the first period, Graham.
They got away with it once.
They had the same situation.
And this time it wasn't. See, I just don't know how that happens. How do you have 2 men go off the ice at once for the extra attacker when you pull the goalie?
Miscommunication.
And that just absolutely wastes a potential power play chance because
Correct.
You had the delayed call. You had the 6-on-5 going with the power play set to go as soon as Carolina touches up. And now, because you have 7 men on the ice instead of 6, you're playing 4-on-4.
Exactly. It's just mental, just a lack of communication, really, because when you pull the goalie, only one person needs to come on, and then 2 Panthers come onto the ice, and it, as you mentioned, just ruins a prime opportunity that they had developing there for not only a 6-on-5, but an ensuing power play 5-on-4.
And it was really a 6-on-4.
Yes.
Because High Point was on the power play.
Yes.
And there's been a double minor assessed on the board. There's 4 minutes of penalty time up on the visiting side. And it's been assessed to Brian Hogan for the Tar Heels. So the Panthers might come out of this a little bit better than we thought they would.
That's exactly right. There's still 1 Panther in the penalty box, but there's going to be 2 Tar Heels in for 41 more seconds.
Yep, and it is number 18 in powder blue, Graham Caron, who's still serving that hooking call for the next 41 seconds. And then obviously you've got Hogan in the box now. He was involved in a play with Arsenault behind the play. And he gave him a rough ride right in front of the officials, similar to what we saw Arsenault do earlier in the game. And he got caught for it. There are 2 minutes up on the board predictably. It'll be Tim Fleury that serves the penalty. Too many men on the ice for High Point. And we'll see if this is a 4-on-3 or a 5-on-4.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot to sort out right here. On the scoreboard right now, we have a 2-minute penalty on High Point and a 41-second penalty and a 4-minute separate penalty on Carolina. So we're going to have to figure this out.
So this will be a 4-on-3 for High Point for the time being for the next 41 seconds. Then there will be a minute and 19 seconds of 4-on-4. And then about 3 minutes and change of power play time for the Panthers. They'll avoid an offensive chance for the Tar Heels. Moving in is Arsenault. Pass for Calkins. Has a man on the other side. Can't pass it to him in time. It was Kelly on the back door. The passing for the Panthers has just not been there today. Calkins for Arsenault. Doesn't find the crease. And the Tar Heels clear.
Yeah, they had the Calkins, as you mentioned, had a good look. He had the puck on his tape. to his right of the goal. It just couldn't get the through pass through the Tar Heel defense.
2 seconds and 1. The power play has expired for the time being. It's 4-on-4 hockey. 1:12 left to go in the 4-on-4 period. Cross-ice pass. What a shot and a goal for High Point. Wow, that was one of the better passes we've seen all night, and it paid off. An absolute rocket off the stick of Tyler Calkins, and a great seeing eye pass from Rob Cazzola makes it a 4-2 hockey game here in Greensboro.
Graham, I'll take it a step further and say that was the single best pass we've seen tonight by both teams. And we've been talking about it all night. The Panthers have been able, when they have had the puck for sustained offensive possessions, which hasn't been much, their passes have not been very crisp. That was the single most crisp pass we've seen tonight, and it results in a goal for High Point.
High Point has scored on their last 2 shots on goal. They were 0 for their first 5, and they're 2 for their last 2.
So 2 for 7 is not a bad percentage. They're just not a very, very
and
large
that'll
quantity.
happen sometimes when a guy like Douthit hasn't been tested almost the entire game. The opportunities that you do see are a little bit tougher to stop, as that was a good chance that time for Walsh, but a backhanding shot goes a little bit wide of Oldweiler's crease. Still 4-on-4 hockey as Ryan Henry brings it into the neutral zone, and McDonald will recover it for the Panthers. Cross-ice pass for Johnson. He's got it on sides. Now Henry dances around one. Back to Johnson. Another pass for Henry. That was one of the prettier plays we've seen, rivaling the one that just scored, but a good pass breakup for the Tar Heels will prevent that chance from materializing.
Exactly. I'll hammer home the point again. You can finally see High Point is passing the puck with some emphasis. They have some strength behind it, putting a little mustard on the puck, as some people would say, and they're getting the puck across the ice where it needs to be really quickly, and a receivable pass is resulting in some of these shots.
Fleury is out of the box, and so it's a 2-minute power play for the Panthers. They'll find Fleury. He leaves it for Kelly. Moving in. Kelly still with it. Pass broken up. Took him about 50 minutes, but the Panthers are finally clicking on offense. Cross-ice pass for Egan. He'll let it bounce off the boards. Passing it back down to the circles for Kelly, and it'll leak into the neutral zone. Egan unable to keep it in.
That's an unfortunate set of circumstances right there. You see the passes are moving around the umbrella really nicely, and that puck just leaked into the neutral zone and kind of ruined that offensive possession.
1:22 left on the power play, 8:23 to go in regulation. This is a big power play for the Panthers, to say the least. Cazzola for Fleury. It's a little bit out of his range. He'll get it in on sides, though. Cazzola behind the net. Out to Egan at the point. Egan can't settle it. Arsenault takes a hit. Fleury behind the net. Now Cazzola. Arsenault puts a hit onto Mahan. Behind the net, still Cazzola. 42 seconds left on the power play. Cross-ice pass. Egan, shot saved by Douthit. And that was another phenomenal pass from Rob Cazzola. And Egan just couldn't bury that one. Couldn't get it off his tape fast enough.
Exactly right. He allowed Douthit to slide from his right to his left and just put it right on Douthit's chest. Pretty easy save for the location-wise, but making him move. They just need to move the puck a little bit faster, shoot it a little bit further away from Douthit, and they'll find another goal to hopefully make it a 1-goal deficit.
And Cazzola is a guy that is an absolute scorer in every sense of the word. Tip in front of the crease by Kelly. Fallon almost cleaned it up on the back door, just couldn't get the stick to it in time. And with 23 seconds left on the power play, it'll go up and out of play. That assist earlier for Cazzola was his 3rd of the year, good for 5 points in his first 6 games. He's up there among the team leaders. He still hasn't passed Sean Kelly, who, even without netting a point tonight, has just been on an insane tear.
Exactly. He, as we talked about earlier in the broadcast, 7 points in the last 5 games. That's incredible. And he hasn't been able to do something tonight, but certainly he's got the ability to.
Exactly, but especially when you're playing with a group of guys that you've never met before, let alone played with.
He just arrived on campus a month ago, and he's already doing this with teammates who he's, as you said, never played with before.
So Johnson Moves around a man. Fallon will pick it up the blue line. 2-on-1 with Henry, and Henry will just put a shot on. Panthers getting off for a line change. Power play expires, under 7 to play. Behind the net. Now Calkins at the point. Cross-ice pass from Fallon, looking for a deflection in front, couldn't find it. Egan was pinching, so nobody home, and the Tar Heels will clear.
You can kind of feel High Point getting a little bit of momentum as we're moving into the last 6.5 minutes of this game.
They're finally playing with a fire underneath them. This
Yes.
is the most offensive zone pressure that High Point has had in
All
2
game.
weeks.
Yes. Especially all game. The last 4 to 5 minutes of game time, the Panthers have really dominated possession. They've dominated their offensive zone. They've gotten shots on net. They just need to put them in the back of that net.
Largest Tar Heel lead was 3 at 4-1. And that extends it back to 3. That one went 5-hole on Ohlweiler off the stick of Hogan.
That's just pretty passing by the Tar Heels right there. We've talked about the last couple minutes how High Point has moved the puck really quickly, really accurately, and they've passed receivable passes with this puck. Carolina did the same thing. Got it past Ohlweiler between his legs and extending their lead from 2 to 3.
And there's only so much that you can do if you're Ohlweiler at this point. I mean, first of all, you've been playing out of your mind all game long. You finally get a chance to rest, and then the first shot you see back the other way, it just beats you 5-hole. Couldn't get the pad down quickly enough. He got bailed on a save like that earlier in the game, where he saved it under the pad. He didn't even know it.
Exactly.
And that's just the law of things evening out. There's a deflection in front, and Ohlweiler will stop that one. 5:33 to go in regulation. It's a 5-2 advantage for the Tar Heels, who have made a statement in their revenge game against High Point.
Yes, they have. They are up 3 with 5.5 to go. High Point, it just took them so long to get going. Like Ohlweiler's obviously played out of his mind tonight, despite giving up 5. It's the first 3 are not his fault at all. This last one's not even his fault.
You got to also understand, Ohlweiler has faced 105 shots in the last 2 games.
Yes.
That is not something that you can sustain as a team and win games.
If you're Coach Starcher, that is the single most stat that you do not like seeing, and he's going to add another one to that category there. But 106 shots now in the last 2 games, 53 shots a game. That's not
a winning recipe, even when you factor in that one of those games went into overtime.
Yes, that's nearly 15, 18 shots a period. That's not something you like to see.
And especially when you consider that High Point hasn't even hit double digits in the shot on goal counter. It's not a game that you could expect to win.
No, you said that perfectly.
But there have been good things to take away in this contest. Even though it hasn't been pretty at times, the penalty kill looked pretty good.
Yes.
In the early stages for the Panthers. Ohlweiler looked phenomenal as well. The defense obviously made adjustments over the last 2 weeks because you've only got 42 shots on Ohlweiler instead of 64.
Yes.
Or excuse me, 66, I should say.
You mentioned the penalty kill. I don't think they've given up a goal.
I think there may have been one. There may have been one power play goal.
Foster had the 1 goal when it was 4-on-4. I don't think that High Point has given up a goal truly on the penalty kill.
Honestly, the special team stats in that second period are a blur. We'll get the final stats and have them ready for you tomorrow.
Out of about 20 minutes of total special teams play, I think about 16 or so was special teams.
It was something outlandish like that. Kondraki in the defensive end. Up for Cazzola, who'll turn it over. And Kondraki moving with it now. And one of the other things that the Panthers really improved upon as this game got into the late stages is we obviously saw an improvement in the passing, the receiving of the passes as well.
Both ends of the passes were so much better in the last 10 minutes of gameplay.
And the lines just started to click together better as the game went along. And so, there's still time left in this one, 4 minutes and 10 seconds to be exact. But at this point, you almost start looking forward to the game tomorrow against Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech is a team that started their season off pretty strong with 2 wins against UNC Wilmington, which is a very up-and-coming team in the M2 level. As Ryan Henry strips the Tar Heels of the puck, but his clearance attempt is kept in. Virginia Tech was a very, very good team 2 years ago at the M2 level, but then they lost a lot of upperclassmen in this past season in which they didn't have a team due to COVID-19. So nobody really knows exactly what this Virginia Tech team is about, but the Panthers will get to find out tomorrow as Henry moves into the zone. Tried to put a shot on, but it goes behind the cage of Douthit.
Yeah, if you're High Point right now, you have to score basically a goal a minute. There's 3:09 left. You're down 3. It starts. You just got to get the first one. You got to get a little momentum. You first got to clear this defensive zone. You got to get your offense certainly an opportunity to put a shot on net. You just got to get one goal here. Go get the face-off. Go convert another shot and just chip away one at a time. Because in hockey, there's no shot that's worth multiple points. You got to get one at a time.
And that's the thing that High Point just wasn't able to do. A lot of times when a team is down by multiple goals, you just hear chip away, chip away. But High Point was never really able to do that in this contest, and that's something that you can attribute to a multitude of factors. But really the thing is, first of all, the defensive pressure on the offensive end that the Tar Heels were able to put on the Panthers, in that they were able to keep the puck in the zone 9 times out of 10 all night long.
Yes. A big theme of this game when they go back and watch what's happened tonight. High Point has thrown a punch, and Carolina's countered literally right back within seconds sometimes. And
sometimes with more than one punch.
Yes. High Point has finally gotten a little bit of momentum when they scored their first goal of the game. Carolina scored, 20 seconds later? Mm-hmm. It's just one punch. High Point's got to sustain it, and then Carolina just comes right back and gets it back for themselves.
It hasn't been the prettiest night so far for the Panthers, but it's one that they can definitely learn from as the Tar Heels score again. That one beats Oldweiler to the blocker side off the stick of Mahan, and it's 6-2 UNC with 2:07 to play.
Yeah, the visiting Carolina team up 6-2 now. Oldweiler, it's got to be just fatigue. He's got to be worn out. It's 1:03 in the morning. He's taken 40, 50-plus shots tonight. After, albeit it was 2 weeks ago, but still 60 shots takes a while to recover from. Not being on the ice against another team for 2 weeks. Just a rough, he got off to a very hot start, but in the second half, you can kind of see how tired he's getting. You can only do so much as a goalie.
And Oldweiler is going to get a much-needed rest tomorrow as either Smith or Sean Moreau will get the start against the Hokies. Moreau hasn't gotten a chance to show what he can do so far this season, as he was scheduled to make a start against East Texas Baptist University in that showcase that the Panthers were a part of about a month ago, and then fell ill. He wasn't able to make the trip, and he was scratched from that one. Oldweiler made the start and just couldn't quite do the job for the Panthers.
Yeah, you just got to hope that Oldweiler here, he started off so well.
And we've got a man in the box for the Panthers.
And that is...
It's Tyler Calkins that's in the box for the remainder of regulation. I missed the call entirely, but...
I did too. It's for 2 minutes or something, a 2-minute minor. But as we close in on the last 90 seconds of this game, you just got to hope that Oldweiler, he's a young guy. He's a freshman. He's played so well. You just got to hope his confidence doesn't take too much of a hit in this game. I don't think it will. He's played so well. But hopefully when he comes back to play, whenever that is, you got Virginia Tech tomorrow, then at CNU twice next weekend. He'll probably play one of those 2 games. You hope he plays as well as he did tonight.
Other games in the ACCHL tonight. Northern Virginia Community College and Liberty start their seasons against each other tonight. as well as the U.S. Naval Academy and George Washington University, squaring off as there's going to be a penalty assessed to the Tar Heels.
That's a nice stick save by Douthit over there, but 20, Cazzola got some pretty shifty puck handling down there.
He has been one of the leaders offensively for the Panthers all year long, and even with under a minute to play in regulation, this is no different. There was an arm up as Ohlweiler went to the bench, and it's going to be Kendrick Holmes heading to the box for the Tar Heels. So we will play the final 43 seconds of regulation at 4-on-4, barring any other extraneous penalties. And the faceoff is won by the Panthers and Ryan Henry. Fallon with a good stick check. Fallon, Henry, and Kelly is a line that did very well in the showcase. And now it's a 2-on-0 for the Tar Heels. They're in. A shot and a save from Ohlweiler. No, it leaks in under the armpit of Ohlweiler. And in garbage time, it's a goal from Michael Vaglia to make it 7-2 UNC.
Yeah, Ohlweiler just throwing his hands up over there. He doesn't know what to do. I mean, there's nothing he can do. As you mentioned, 2-on-0. The Tar Heels could have passed it between each other. They didn't. They took one move to get to the middle of the ice, stuck his right skate in the ice, got back to his left, and just put it over Ohlweiler's right shoulder.
20.4 left in regulation, and this one is all over but the shouting at this point. Possession still being fought for in the neutral zone. It'll be the Tar Heels that come away with it in their defensive end. 10 to play. Broken up by Egan. On sides is Ashford. Shot attempt misses the mark, and that'll do it here as we are now in Saturday morning in the Greensboro Ice House. It was not the prettiest showing, to say the least, for the Panthers. They get outshot by the Tar Heels 46-9 and fall to a record of 2-3-1 with this loss to the Tar Heels, who did what they came here to do and got revenge for the win that the Panthers achieved 2 weeks ago. As we start to line up for the handshake line. Again, final score here, 7-2 in favor of the Tar Heels.
Yeah, Graham, you pretty much summed it up. The shots on goal is really the difference.
It really says everything. There's only so much that you can expect Michael Ohlweiler to do, despite how great he has been. And the wall just came down for the Panthers at the end of the game. And they've got to shake this off, because in about 15 hours, you're back here in this very same building playing another tough opponent, the Hokies of Virginia Tech. And you've got to make sure that you're ready to go for that one. Ohlweiler's going to get a rest, but the rest of this team needs to regroup, and see what they can do to come out with a win to salvage the weekend without going 0-2.
That's exactly right. High Point was just unable to sustain an offensive possession in this game. They got to 2 goals off the very quick restarts. One was on the power play. No, that's not right. One was there was not a special teams goal.
The Panthers special teams did not really excel for the most part in this game. The penalty kill was stellar in the first period, but then beyond that, the ink on the penalty sheet just continued to run, and it just became hard to keep track of, 4-on-4, 4-on-3, all sorts of things. But at this point in the game, it's just the kind of thing where, simply put, you cannot put 9 shots on goal and expect to come out with a win. And that's the bottom line. But until tomorrow, well, technically today, that'll do it for us here from the Greensboro Ice House. For J Banzet, this is Graham Tuck signing off. Final score, Tar Heels 7.